Welcome back everyone, and I'm going to do a quick manga and anime haul, mainly because I want to test out my phone, hence why I'm not in my usual setup. I'm also just being lazy, and I might ramble a little bit because I recently started shopping at Half Price Books, which is where I got majority of the manga you see here. I never shopped at Half Price Books growing up. I always found it kind of similar to Goodwill, where it's technically kind of a thrift store, but the prices were never cheap enough for my liking or for my affordability to actually purchase stuff there. But during my recent trips, I found a lot of stuff, so I'm pleasantly surprised and will definitely be taking trips there every now and again to see what they have, because they're just a good place to find out of print manga and such, since people do donate their stuff there. Especially, if someone's trying to get rid of a collection of stuff, they might donate the whole thing, so you see a lot of multiple books here. So I'll start with this left corner, or this left stack. I believe most of this was in the same location of Half Price Books, which is the one I prefer because I found a lot of stuff there. The first few volumes actually I have out of order, but this is A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul's School, and this actually does have an anime now. I haven't seen it. I kind of prefer to start with the manga because the manga usually leaves the better impression than the anime. If the anime isn't done well, it kind of leaves a sour impression, and I never want to check out the manga. So I was happy to see that there were 5 volumes of this manga there, so that's a good indicator and like a good collection of books to read to see if I like a series or not. And obviously they're used, but they were $6.50, which is actually cheaper than I would have even gotten them on Crunchyroll or even Right Stuff when that was still a thing. So not bad prices, still not as cheap as I would like at a thrift store, especially since this one did have some damage at the bottom, but it's still discounted and I still did get a good deal, so I'm happy with it. Then I got a couple single volumes. So first one, I was very surprised to find Chibi Vampire Volume 1. For some reason this is a very, well, I wouldn't say it's rare, but it's not as easy to find anymore. I feel like I saw this multiple times thrift shopping over the years, but I never picked it up because it wasn't a series I've ever was too attached to. But I did look it up on eBay, and while it's not the most expensive series to have to purchase secondhand, it's kind of not cheap either, and a little hard to find for certain volumes. So the fact, first of all, the condition of this book is really good. So I think I took off the sticker already because I actually filmed this once and I accidentally deleted the footage. So I'm filming this again with some added stuff because some stuff came. But yeah, the condition of this book is really good considering it's old and it's not very yellowed like a lot of other manga. So I think I got this for like $4 or $5. So for that price, that I think was very worth it. Then I also got Deep Gray Man Volume 1. It's a real shame how this series has fallen off over the years because I remember being very into it. And then the series just kind of stopped updating for a while and I lost track of it. But I've always liked the artwork in it. I loved the story and the characters. I really hope the mangaka can keep going until she finishes because I do want to see how this series ends. And I just love the aesthetic of this series. Everything was very goth adjacent. A lot of religious imagery and demon stuff. Just super cool and cute artwork. So I got Volume 1, which is not far hard to find at all, but I did get it at a discount. Just to add to my collection because I like having manga that I like the artwork of, just so I can look at it every now and again for inspiration. And then I found Volume 1 of Requiem of the Rose King, which I believe does have an anime now as well, but again, I prefer to start with the manga. And this was one that I had on my wish list for a long time on Right Stuff, and then I forgot about it because once they transferred over to Crunchyroll, I lost my wish list. So for $5, not bad. I'm excited to read the first volume at least. I don't remember what this is about, to be quite honest. Normally I would give y'all summaries, but most of these I don't even remember what the plot was. A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School just sounded like Iruma-kun, but an adult teacher. Chibi Vampire was about a vampire girl who actually produces more blood than she's supposed to, and there's a reason for that. That's spoilers, but it's a romantic comedy that the anime kind of ruined because it turned into an ecchi for the oddest reason, but they kind of did that in the early 2000s a lot. D. Gray Man I cannot explain the plot to because it's kind of complicated. So I'll just keep going. Next, I have My Pathetic Vampire Life Volume 1. I've never heard of this, but it sounded funny, so I was willing to give it a shot. And it just sounds kind of like a slice of life manga of a vampire who just is not very good at being a vampire. Pretty standard art, but looks like it has some fun gags, so I'm excited to read that. And then, in their clearance section, I found Alice in the Country of Joker. I remember reading the original of this series because I believe it's based on an Otome game. So they created multiple volumes following each route. So I'm assuming this is the route where she gets together with the Joker or something. But I loved the art. I remember enjoying this series when I did read it. So I figured for $3, which is how much I got this for, I'm pretty sure I already took the sticker off, I was willing. So happy to add that to my collection. And then I'll do the anime at the end. I'll do this separate as well because I did not get that from Half Price Books. But next, I was so excited. I was not expecting to find Code Geass manga at Half Price Books. It's kind of rare now. Or maybe it's not rare. People just are asking way too much for it on eBay. But it's like $20 per volume. And volume 1 was 12. Volume 2 was like 5. So I don't know what the whole deal was with the price discrepancy, but I am happy to find it because this is rare to find now. It's out of print. And ever since I rewatched Code Geass with friends, my Code Geass fangirlness is kind of reignited. My Code Geass Lelouch figure just arrived too, and I'll post a review of that at a later date, but yeah, I saw Code Geass, I saw Lelouch on the cover, and I immediately purchased. So happy to have that. And then on my first trip to Half Price Books, which kind of ignited the whole wanting to check it out every now and again, was I found volumes 4 through 8, minus 7, so I do have to pick up 7, of The Way of the House Husband. And this was a series I was collecting up until volume 3, and then I forgot, and I just never bought it. But it's funny. It's a shame what happened with the anime. I'm just personally not a fan of the way they went about it. I was really hoping for a decent animation. But the manga is still funny. It's a gag manga of a former mafia... I think he was a mafia boss, if not just a mafia member. A very notorious one who becomes a house husband. So he does everything related to that with this intensity that's pretty funny. And he encounters some of his old mafia buddies as well. And hijinks ensue. So would recommend, very funny. And I'm happy that I found all of those for a decent price. Because I think, yeah, I took the stickers off these two. I think they were around $6 as well. And then for the last of the manga, this Crunchyroll order just arrived. I did order the remaining volumes that I was missing from Who Made Me a Princess, which is a Korean webcomic of a reincarnated girl who reincarnates in a novel series where she is the daughter of an evil tyrant who eventually kills her, and so her goal is to prevent that. But the art is beautiful. I loved the story when I stopped reading it. I got tired of ads on the manga websites, so I stopped reading it, and that's why I'm going for the physical copies. So very excited to not only catch up but keep going. And I believe this is volume 9. Yeah, volume 9 and 5. Sorry, 6 are what I was missing. So happy to complete that. Then I also got Stalking volume 8, which is a horror thriller with BL undertones, or very blatant BL tones, about a murder and his victim. Not much else to say about that. You just have to read it. But that's the last one in the series, so I'm excited to finally complete that. I've been holding off on that one just because it's such a pricey volume. And then I have volume 5 of The Summer Hikaru Died, which I'm excited to read. This is a recent series that is getting an anime, I think, this year, which is crazy. There's only like 5 or 6 volumes in Japan, and it's already getting an anime. So we'll see how that goes. Very interesting. And I would recommend it. It's just a really interesting mystery thriller I'm still excited to find out what is going on with that. Okay, let's move on to the anime. So first I did get, during a Target sale, Black Butler, Book of Circus. I don't like what they're doing with Black Butler, where every arc is released separately in its own quote-unquote season, when really it's like 5 or 8 episodes. And I didn't realize that Book of Circus was done the same way. So when I paid, I think $30 for this, I was quite disappointed. But it is one of the main arcs that I did want to own, so I just bit the bullet. So I'm at least happy to own that, but I'm hoping that at some point they'll release like a full series box set or something, and I'll just pay for that, so I don't have a bunch of different discs on my shelf for each arc. Although the most recent one that released looks really good. Then I have all of these, which I bought secondhand. So first, off of Mercari, I bought Fullmetal Alchemist, the movie, Conqueror of Shamballa. I only saw this once when I was younger, and a friend recently reminded me it existed. So I went ahead and bought it. Very cheap. I think I only paid like $10 for this, which is good because a lot of these out-of-print stuff is so expensive. It was in great condition. It still came with a little pamphlet and the Funimation stuff here. So, and it has the flippable cover, which is cool. The artwork is gorgeous. I mean, look at that. Sorry, this angle's terrible. But yeah, happy to have that. I'm happy I got it for the price that I did. I'm surprised they haven't re-released these in Blu-ray. Then I have D. Grayman, Season 1 and 2. I think realistically this only has 2 seasons, but in English in the Funimation release there's 4 because they split each season into 2. So you may see that when you shop for this online. It's still pretty good price online, especially secondhand. I was happy to find this from the same seller, and they were able to negotiate a price with me. So I got this, I think, for at most 20 each. Not even, actually, probably really much cheaper. And it's the slipcover release. So it has the 2, I'm sorry, not slipcover, whatever these are called, the thin discs, thin case, whatever. But the art in them is so cool. They still have the Funimation pamphlets, which is crazy. I'm actually enjoying that since I got some older releases recently from Japan, and they still had the Funimation stuff inside as well. It's fun to see that era of anime collecting, because a lot of these recent releases just don't include stuff like that. But that's Season 1 and then Season 2. Oh, sorry, that was Season 2. This is Season 1. It's hard to do this with one hand, I apologize. But Season 1 has this artwork, some more pamphlets. Oh my gosh, the D. Grayman anime. I mean, Devil May Cry anime, sorry. That's crazy. Didn't that just get another anime as well? Crazy. But yeah, they were in good condition, a little dusty. Some of them were slightly scratched, but nothing that I think would prevent them from playing. So, very happy with my purchase. And if you're interested in this, I think the Save collections are the easier ones to find. I only got this because I like this version, and it was a bundle, so it would have been cheaper for me to just buy both. So happy to add that to my collection. And then the one I'm most excited about, to be quite honest, is Gundam 00. I was able to get this for under $30. It went out of print without my noticing, which is so unfortunate because I wanted all of it. I wanted Gundam 00 Season 1 and 2 plus the movie. And I backed out of buying the collector's edition when they released that, and I regret it every day because that is also out of print and extremely expensive. But that had everything. It would have solved my issue immediately. So now I have to hunt for Season 2 at least. I at least want Season 1 and 2 in my collection. But I'm at least happy to have Season 1. It's the most common one you can find online. Season 2 is just like nowhere to be seen outside of over $100, which is crazy. I'm hoping that it does re-release, because Gundam series are so iconic, I can't imagine they would not re-release it. This case was broken though, the seller did not mention that, but I'm not going to complain about it because I did get it for a good price, and it's something I can just replace with something else. But here are the discs. So, very happy to have a series I've been eyeing for years finally in my collection. And that's everything. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'll put the names of all these series down in the description so you at least know what I have. But since I bought these in person, I probably won't include links. But I'm happy with this haul. All the Right Stuff manga that I bought actually filled up my shelves, so I have to purge some stuff. But same with the anime, to be quite honest. I really had to move stuff around to fit this on my bookshelf. So a little stressful, but I'm at least happy to have everything here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.